Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Clara and today we are doing a full face of makeup using a makeup sponge. Now, when getting into makeup, it can be intimidating with all the products that there are, but more than anything, the tools. Which tool goes with what? And that in itself could be so overwhelming that it could put you off from doing your makeup. And that is speaking from a personal experience. I look at some of these makeup videos and it's just like a brush for this, a brush for that, a brush for here, a brush for there. And I completely understand that, but sometimes it's just so overwhelming. So I've seen this go around with doing a full face with just a makeup sponge, and I wanted to give it a try. I do have a video where I try to limit the products for a full face. It's in the video playlist if you want to check that out. But for today, I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty sponge. I have never used this sponge. I am very familiar with the e.l.f. sponge. This type of sponge where it's just straight on like this and it has the round point. Sponges like this one that's pointy and more rounded at the bottom. There is a new sponge out. I believe it's by Shein, and they have like a multi-dimensional sponge that is actually formulated for a full face, which is the video that is going around right now with the full face with the sponge. I don't have that sponge, but I do have the Rare Beauty sponge, and it does have multiple sides, a point with sides, and it has that rounded edge at the bottom. We are going to attempt to do a full face using only a sponge. Now, obviously brows is not something that's going to play into. Apply my makeup with a sponge. Even my loose powders and stuff, the only thing that I normally don't use it for is like my bronzers and stuff, but today we are going to do that. So let's get started with foundation. And for foundation today, I am using the Laura Geller Quench and Tint Hydrating Foundation. And as far as primer, I did go with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. So for this part, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the butt of the sponge. And let's try this full face. Okay, so here's a foundation. Of course, that goes good with the sponge. Next up, I'm gonna use my COVERGIRL TRUBELND Undercover Foundation Concealer. And I'm gonna use one of the pointed sides. To bronze up the skin, I'm gonna use the Sunlit Glow Silking Bronzing Base by YENSA. And it's just like this. And I'm just gonna take a different pointer edge there and just gonna pick some up. Just disperse that and then blend it in. And taking the bottom where we had the foundation and just blending everything seamlessly together. A little more concealer, and this is the e.l.f. concealer. But before I blend that out, I'm gonna take some of my cream blush and I'm just gonna go on this side here. And pick some up. This is such a pretty cream blush. I really wasn't much into cream products, but now I am, and I love them. They used to scare me before. Not so much now, which is a good thing. I'm gonna set my face with my Mercier powder, and I am familiar setting my face with a sponge. So I'm just gonna use one of the sides of it, and I'm gonna apply it to my face like that, and then I had a little section here that had nothing on it, and I'm gonna use that to set under my eyes. So to set the powders down, I'm gonna use my mist just to set all the powders into my skin and before they completely dry down. Looking for the side. And that just helps melt down all the powders. So before we proceed, actually no. Okay, so now let's attempt to do the powders on this base. So for bronzer, I'm gonna go in with my Butter Bronzer, and just gonna take the side where I used that cream contour, and gonna pick some up and just lightly tap over. Like all my cream products on my face are already set because of the loose powder, but you know, I do want to intensify the bronze, so that's why I'm adding a powdered bronzer, and I think it's doing a pretty good job. Eyelids, because eyeshadow is going to be a little tricky. but it's adding the color really nicely. Okay. So before I proceed with my eyes, I am gonna go into my Billion Dollar Beauty blush here, using it on the side where I used the cream blush, picking that up ever so slightly, and then tapping that. Oh, geez, okay. That was ever so slightly with the sponge. And then for highlight, I'm gonna go in with the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter, and I'm just gonna use the side that I used the powder on, the powder side. And because you're adding it on with a semi damp sponge, your highlighter is gonna go on a little more intense. It's very natural looking. It's very nice. So let's get on to these eyes. It might be a little tricky. So for the eyes, I'm gonna dip into my Viseart palette, and this is the neutral matte eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna dip into this color here with one of the pointed edges, and let's see what we come up with. Oh dear. I'm gonna look down into my mirror while I do this. I'm gonna dip into this little darker pinky color here. I'm gonna use the side that we did the blush on for that. And I mean, you could skip the eyeshadow altogether and just leave it, you know, like I did with the bronzer at the beginning, just the wash of color from the bronzer in on your lids, but I just wanted to take a stab at eyeshadow with the sponge. Pick up those two colors on that pointed edge and run it on my bottom lash line. Billion Dollar Beauty, the color golden that I have in this palette right here, and I'm gonna add shimmer to my lid. All right, so I'm gonna go off and do my brows and add mascara, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Eyebrows are on to the best of my ability today. I got mascara on, and I even have some of the Billion Dollar Beauty lip balm topped with the Essence gloss. So that, my friends, is a full face using a makeup sponge. And this sponge actually worked fairly well. Like I said, it's the first time using it. I did like all the little sides and the pointed edge here, and then the fact that you can, you know, fold it up and manipulate it different ways that you need it to go. But yeah, makeup does not have to be intimidating. You don't have to use as much as I did today. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. I would love to read your tips and tricks for makeup application. Like I said, again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments, and until next time, bye.